So earlier today, right, I was on the receiving end of one of the all-time great rugby league humblings that's ever been seen. So I was out at Coles, right, doing some late night shopping, and this dude walks in a bloke in a bar jumper, bloke in a bar hat, like just completely decked out in bloke merch. And, you know, that's a podcast that I've been on a little bit. I thought potentially there's a chance that this guy is a fan. And I've never been recognized in just that everyday public setting before, so I would love to have had a conversation with him. So anyway, I sort of hung around, like I didn't throw myself at him by any means, but I sort of hung around looking at the chicken specials a little bit longer than you otherwise normally would, in the hope that maybe he might recognize me. And he did eventually come over to me, actually. So he makes his way over. I take off my headphones to have a conversation with him. And he says, "Sorry, mate, could I just grab that?" And picks up a bulk packets of chicken breasts. To say that my ego was well and truly put in check is one of the great understatements of all time. I truly do feel the need, I think, to go back to reserve grade and reconsider my own approaches. I'd like to apologize to the wider rugby league community. I definitely don't feel that my conduct was good enough, and I look forward to facing the judiciary throughout this stream and being subject to whatever punishment you guys decide to hand down. Hello there. Good to see you all. Now, throughout that, I actually missed a massive donation from Dean. 31 Australian Rugby League dollars. I'm sorry I couldn't mention it at the time. I was just getting through that story. Thank you so much, Dean. We're off to a flyer, folks. We're off to an absolute flyer for this, what I think is going to be a really, really tough game to predict, and you guys have reflected that as well. I put up a poll on YouTube ages ago. 31 people have voted. 61% Cowboys, 39% Sea Eagles. I am inclined to agree with you. I do think it will be Cowboys, but the confidence that I make that prediction with is absolutely minimal. I am really, really excited to see how this one goes. I think it's going to be absolutely outstanding. Let's get into the teams, because there have been some, albeit minor, some changes. Some changes, folks. Oh, that's straight up not the teams. I did set it up beforehand. There we go. Okay, we're good. Right, so no changes in the backs whatsoever. No changes in the forwards whatsoever. Everything is named as normal. No Reid Marnie this week for the North Queensland Cowboys is their big out. But Sonny Luke, he's a crafty hooker at his best. I've been very critical of his decision-making in the past, but I do think that he's quality on his day there at 9. The only changes come on the bench. Harrison Edwards and Jackson Shadab come onto the interchange benches. Clayton Falala, they're moving up one spot. So, that's all we have got. Guess what? I tipped the Bulldogs, says George, for this week. Oh, yeah, you're an Eels fan. That is significant. I was going to say, I think most people would predict the Eels for this week. They're playing Eye of the Tiger on the Fox broadcast. I'm surprised that they've got the licensing for that. Why don't you have an ad blocker on? I believe very strongly against ad blockers on every level, essentially. There's actually a very good video that I made once about why I oppose, well, not why I oppose ad blockers, why I oppose one person's particular view on ad blockers. If you wanna have a conversation, I'll then bring it up at halftime, and I'll be happy to debate you on it. I think we should send to the gallows anyone who calls a player creamy. Well, yeah, look, I don't completely disagree with that. It was a absolutely bizarre thing to do. Only thing that, like, from my perspective is I don't have much ground to stand on with the way that I've glazed Dominic Young's pecs over the course of the last 2 years. So, yeah, look, may he who has not glazed a player cast the first stone. I think it said that in the Bible. But, yeah, when it's Phil Gould... Okay, yeah. Do you have an egg with you again? I do not have an egg with me again. That was a one-time thing. Yeah, George, they haven't quite kicked off on my screen. I will let you know exactly when they do. But the players are out on the field. You interviewed Rod Wishart. That's very cool, Hasman. That's more than I've ever done. Congratulations to you. That's outstanding work. My light is being very annoying here. Better? I think it's better. Okie dokie. Here come the Cowboys running out onto the field. George says I'm going to Canberra Stadium tomorrow. So am I. I'm going to be sitting in the general admission area, donut ball into the ground. Probably in a Roosters jacket, so have a look for me. So you'd rather risk nasty malware for your values? Fair enough. Yeah. I protect against malware in other ways, but I think that I won't get into it until halftime, but the malware argument is used by a lot of people who don't actually have that as their reason. It's a very inconvenient truth to lean on. All due respect to you, if that is truly your reasoning. But yeah, I view it certainly as a matter of theft. So, yeah. Alrighty, here we go, folks. Rugby League's back for this week. It's the Cowboys versus the Sea Eagles up there in Townsville. A very 50-50 game. There's the kickoff. If you do want to sync up with me, it will be Manly with first reception of the ball. Jason Saab, who I found out this week is Lebanese eligible. There we go. It's going to be a very good player for them if he lines up in the World Cup. Mort, thank you for cheering 22 bits. I think you did it twice as well. Much appreciated there, brother. I was once again, before the stream, trying to set up the sounds to work properly with my stream integrations. Just ain't happening. Just ain't happening. I am going to look into it, though, as I keep promising to be fair. But I'm committed. I'm committed. Alrighty. So, playing the ball there was Kola. Now, Ben Chaboyevich up to the 40-meter line. Manly on an absolute tear since Kieran Foran was appointed as interim head coach. But the North Queensland Cowboys as well, their form has been among the best in the premiership in recent weeks. They've been absolutely brilliant. Here at home, I do think it will probably be them who get the job done, but obviously we'll see. Juju, I think I'd be going for North Queensland, yeah. That's very cool, Hasman. Yeah, connections really help in the game. I never had connections when I started content, but I've definitely got some now. So it's hey, Leaguie, someone just redeemed a thing.
Smart guy AA just redeemed, changed the background color. Cowboy yellow yeehaw up to North Queensland.
Yellow it will be. As Coldplay once said, it was all yellow. There we go. It's very washed out. I can't quite figure out why, actually. Anyway, Cohen has now with a run. I'm not quite centered either. There we go. I'm going to go fix my light when we get a break in play. No yellow emoji? Oh, yeah, so yellow square emoji, right? Yellow square emoji. We should have had yellow square emoji. How do I only cheer bits with a message attached? The only way that I've enabled you to attaching a message is the changing the background color. Because you need to tell me which background color to change it to. Otherwise, I don't think there is a way. All right. Coldplay also said either those two are having an affair or they're very camera shy. They did say that. They did say that. That was a bit more of a recent reference than my Coldplay one. 6 more here for the Manly-Warringah Sea Eagles. That is late in the count as well on the 4th. That's going to be costly. They've got a bit of space here down the sideline. Oh, straight through. Kola is one-on-one with a fullback, and he slips himself over and loses the ball. It was all happening for him. Yeah, wow. Execution not on there, unfortunately. I was having flashbacks to what he did to Tedesco a few weeks ago. Instead, he did it to himself. Went either way, slipped over himself, and then lost the ball. But, geez, the speed that he has down that sideline, absolutely brilliant. How's he lost it? Oh, geez, that is just a very, very loose carry. Very loose carry. Is it a milestone game for Drinkwater? I'm not sure. Oh, you mean without? I don't actually know. I don't actually know. I'm always on the streaming end rather than the watching end. Oh, the music's very loud. Sorry, let me turn that thing right down. AFL fans pretending that their Timu version of Magic Round is the greatest thing ever is so funny to me. We have, as the NRL, we have no ground to stand on whatsoever in terms of calling their thing a Timu version of ours. Our Magic Round is a Timu version of the Super League's Magic Weekend. We took their entire concept, didn't even change the word magic, and just made it our own. So, we're the Timu version of the Super League's Magic Weekend. They are, I don't know, what's worse than Timu? But whatever it is, that's what they are. All right, Dearden now to find Harlem Lukey. That's interesting that you tipped Manly, Tiger. I'm surprised. I've tipped North Queensland for this one. All right, Dearden with a ball in his hands. Out the back, we'll find Jake Clifford. They're rushing up here. Oh, intercepted there by Garrett. Gets it offload to Jason's side. There's no one in front of him. An absolute try-saving effort there from the North Queensland Cowboys. I didn't actually make out what player it was, but they slowed him down enough just for their teammate to come along and tackle him themselves. 6 more here it will be for the Manly-Warringah Sea Eagles. That pass that they did, I mean, it was so brilliantly telegraphed there by Ruben Garrick. Very, very clear. Now in the hands of Ben Chaboyevich will be tackled. Dina didn't really hurt. I just laughed at myself, to be honest. It was more funny than anything else. All right, run here from Kobe Hetherington into the line. Still a half of this set left to go. Wakeham goes to Luke Brooks. Gets to offload away. Leahy Hopoate's over in the corner. That was very, very easy.
Manly-Warringah, Manly-Warringah, they'll all be waltzing behind you.
That was bloody loud. My bad. I will turn that right the hell down. Yeah, that was so clearly telegraphed there for Garrick. But then it was Laybutt. He didn't. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Laybutt. It was Purdue. What an effort from Jackson Purdue. He didn't actually complete the tackle, but he did enough to slow him down. Then this Luke Brooks, yeah, just going through the line there, gets an offload away to the corner. Try is confirmed. 4-0 early on here for Manly. Fosball is so back. Did it ever leave? Did it ever truly leave though? Okay. So that's a very good start there for Manly. Look, I mean, obviously, we've had less than 5 minutes gone in this game. A very positive start from them. But North Queensland, I mean, when you concede a try like that, it's not necessarily that your balance of play hasn't been good. That was just simply an execution thing. They forced the pass there. Seeing them force the pass that early on in the game with the French outside rushing, they should have had a lot more patience with that play. I said I was going to go fix my lighting, and I think I know what's causing it. So just while we are waiting for this kick, that is what I am going to do. I think that's better. And luckily for me, they've pushed the kick out to the right-hand side there, Jamal Fogarty. So it remains 4 points, 2-0. Bro, we got a free head dent check. Look, I'm just a generous person, okay? I enjoy giving to the people. So, happy with that. I have worn my headphones pretty much all day today. I've been working on an essay, so I'm not surprised if there's a bit of a dent there. WTF says there's a reason why Cows home games are only at nighttime, since you would melt into a slimy puddle and traumatize a generation if you played in Townsville during the day. Bro, wait till we have games in Papua New Guinea. That is going to be special. Cowboys kick off for the second time in this game. It's Saab underneath it, giving it to a charging front rower there in Kobe Hetherington. He is still a player that I very much associate with the Brisbane Broncos. But he's doing very well there. He's the kind of just battler forward that Manly are building around. Aaron Kubas, thank you for following over on Twitch. Much appreciated. Another movement in terms of Broncos forwards. Mitch Barnett officially confirmed to be going there. 3-year deal. He's not a guy I can picture in a Broncos jersey whatsoever. But as far as replacements of Payne Haas goes, I mean, you can't replace a player of that quality. Oh, Brooks is absolutely doing brilliantly here. But it's going to be a penalty for obstruction to the North Queensland Cowboys. Brooks is having his way with them at the moment.
Smart guy Yay just redeemed, changed the background color. Yellow again for yellow square emoji. Yellow circle emoji. Fame when?
So, yeah, I'll finish my thought on Mitch Barnett. There we go. I'm not sure about the 3-year deal. That does seem a little bit long. He is a veteran player, but he's tough as nails. I think he can build a very strong future there, and they have traded away Grant Anderson to the New Zealand Warriors, which I think is really interesting. I don't really view outside backs as something that the Warriors need much more of. I mean, obviously, Rogers Tuivasa-Sheck is leaving, but Kyle Pereira is there waiting in the wings. Maybe they think that Dallin Watene-Sladziak doesn't have much of a future there at the club. Oh, there we go. 150th game for Drinkwater. There we go. Clifford dummying going through the field, through the defensive line himself. That did very, very well. Eventually was tackled. Still 3 tackles left here. Drinkwater, the milestone man, gets him out the back to Deard, and now Tamalolo through the middle. Danny, I'm very glad you went to Campbelltown. It must have been an absolutely brilliant game for you to be at. Luke is in a dummy half here. Gets it to Deard, and they're spreading it to the right-hand side. It's Hess, who will find the tackle there. Luke will be at a dummy half. This is the last. Gets it to Drinkwater. Kick in behind. It's being chased through. That's going to be... Oh, I think it might just have gone too far. Yeah, Chess is not claiming it. He had an opportunity there. Kat, thank you so much for donating. What even was that currency? CHF2? What does that even mean? I don't think we've ever had that before. Anyway, I got Sinbin from school. I'm on a train to NL. You're on a train to the Netherlands. from where? Alrighty. So 4 points to nil, it remains. 2 Swiss francs. It could well be 2 Swiss francs. I mean, that would make sense in terms of being on a train to the Netherlands. Cowboys got a penalty earlier for obstruction, George. I thought that they were looking pretty good there for a bit. All right. So on the last here, Manly, they kick the ball up in the air. It's Fogarty. Underneath this one will be Jason Saab, who does catch it, but takes the tackle. So not a terrible place for them to turn the ball over there. They're 10 meters out from the attacking line, forcing the Cowboys to come out of a corner there. You're in Switzerland. There we go. That does make sense. Like, man, 1,000 crying babies or cruise missile in what? In a battle with one another? Leaguie, I know you've had very few meat pies, but I recommend trying a garlic pie if you haven't. I have, actually. Shout out to the Garlic family. Just because it's a rugby league family, I wanted to try their pie. So, in a battle, definitely the babies. Drinkwater at the back now to find Tommy Chester. I love what I've seen for Tommy Chester so far this season, but not that because he's just knocked the ball on. Absolutely terrible time for me to praise the fella. But anyway. Here we go. Fogarty will spread it to the left. They're looking good here, Manly. Kohler. They're getting lots of early ball to him. Gets it now to Leahy Opawate. One-on-one with his opposite man. I don't think they've done enough, have they? No, they stopped him about half a meter short. If that. It's so close we're going to be reviewing this. Gerard Sutton has a no try. Jeez. He had the absolute patience of a saint if he hasn't reached out here because it was so close. Oh, that's okay, Mrs. League. Your Star Spangled Banner is a decent national anthem. Far from the best, but it's decent. That was commentator's curse, Matt Galaxy. 100%. Absolutely it was. Alrighty. So let's see here with Hopawati. He is so close to the try line here. I feel that if he did ground it, I don't think they'd actually call it a double movement. But I don't think he has grounded it. This is a very bizarre one here. Very bizarre one. Cowboys very bad? I don't think that's true. They've won a heap of games coming into this one. Yeah, so they're going to go with inconclusive. Still, they have a full set here, Manly. An absolute full set ahead of them in attacking ball. So we'll get going again. I'm backing Manly in here. I'm backing them to score. I'm high on them at the moment. I think in Rugby League Live 3 back in the day, you had sometimes, like if it was so close to the line, you then have to play the ball and they put the ball down on the ground, but it would be on the try line. And it would be ruled a try. I think that happened to me once. Oh, knock on there on the first, Manly. That's terrible from them. Kobe Hetherington it was. Terrible start to that set. I really thought that, as I said, they'd be threatening to score there. But anyway, is what it is. How is anyone picking the Cows when Manly are coached by the undefeated Kieran Foran? Because Kieran Foran objectively isn't as much of a daddy as Todd Payton is. And I do think that being a daddy when it comes to being a rugby league coach does count for quite a lot. It's one of my big criticisms of Trent Robinson. Obviously, I love him to death. He's easily the favorite Roosters coach in my lifetime that I've had. And I hope he stays at our club for a very long time. But objectively speaking, he's not a daddy. I thought we might lose to Cronulla last week purely on the basis of him coming up against Craig Fitzgibbon. I nearly said Fitzsimmons. What the hell? Craig Fitzgibbon, a.k.a. Johnny Sins. So, yeah, I think on that basis, it's probably why I'm tipping the North Queensland Cowboys in this one. When are we adding Creamy like an apple pie to the scoreboard? I haven't been able to find the clip of him actually saying it. I don't know if someone can find that for me. If so, it's absolutely going in there. Absolutely going in there. All right, here we go. Theatre now to find Jake Clifford. Short ball. Tackle there is, I believe that's O'Donnell. Now in the hands of Clifford. We'll put a kick up. Jawobic underneath it. Solid catch there. He had no one really around him there, Turbo, and takes the tackle. We need a daddy ranking of NRL coaches. I should add that to my list of video ideas. Oh, that's great. Who's Johnny Sins? He's a plumber. So happy to see Taylor back. Probably my second favorite player currently and probably our biggest weapon in our backline besides maybe Buller. Well, yeah, I mean, I would describe Taylor as so creamy, so fluid like warm apple pie on a Sunday. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you completely. He's one of the best centers in the game. Spent a long while out of the NRL for, legal reasons, but back now and really hasn't slowed down. Turbo's down. Tom Trbojevic, sound the alarm. Tom Trbojevic is down, folks. Oh, no. Oh, no. Turbo is down, and it's not looking good. You're always worried whenever something happens in the tackle there. Hopefully, this is just a little moment for him, a little burner or something, but the leg twists a little weirdly. Foz has absolute silver fox energy, though. That man is a single father with 2 dogs who's going to find the love of his life in a coffee shop. The Tumblr girlies have taught me this. I hear it. I actually do really hear that. He's not a daddy, but he is a father. And I think that, hey, Leaguie, so that's a big thing. Oh, he's limping off field here, Turbo.
Silas Kinski just redeemed, changed the background color. Rodate to Grand Clervaux heads visas doubts.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Big fan of a road on achtergrond. Rode achtergrondkleur voor het Zwitsers Duits. This is potentially a big moment for Manly. Look, their form has been very good so far this season. I think Tom Trbojević's form has been very good so far this season. It's not that they're nothing without him, but their captain going off the field really, really sucks for them. And he's a player who I would have had in my Origin side. We'll see if there's ramifications on that. All right, underneath this kick here from Manly is Scotty Drinkwater, potentially Dragons bound. Either that or there's been some links to the Cronulla Sharks. Although, no, wait, they just re-signed... Did they just re-sign Kennedy? Or am I making that up? I know Bulldogs re-signed Tracy. I'm not sure about Sharks and Kennedy, but anyway. Potentially an option there. As the penalty gets given away, they can't go quickly there, though, through Tommy Chester. Broncos haven't lost at Campbelltown since the last time Guru was bald. In brackets, he was a baby. To be fair, I think that's probably true for most teams. So, what kind of black magic had to happen for Townsville to get an NRL team? Townsville's not like a small place by any means. And it's just that North Queensland area. So, yeah, Mrs. Leaguie. So, she says, or he or she says, thoughts on your Unk music taste I brought you up on. You've mentioned it a few times today. It's not a criticism. I certainly don't take it as a criticism. I wear it incredibly proudly. My listening age on Spotify last year was 78. I love old music. It's my greatest passion aside from rugby league. So yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Clifford's running into the line here. They're about 35 meters out from the Manly-Warringah line here. Tasmania still needs a team. I don't think that will happen. Knock on there, Ruben Cotter. That is a soft one from the Queensland Origin player, Ruben Cotter. How can we watch live? You can watch this live on Channel 9 in Australia. If you're not in Australia, you can use a VPN and go onto Australia and then click 9 Now on the internet and you'll be able to watch it. Will you ever go to Rockville? Not sure where Rockville is. My friend got 138 average listening age on Spotify. How is that possible? Legman, your music taste is very tough. Also, watch NRL. Yes, that's also a way of... Oh, wait, hang on. I thought you were saying watch NRL as a way of watching it overseas. It is, but that's not what you're talking about. Watch NRL, but there's an ad after every player. Watch and cover AFL for a year, but not watch NRL for that year. NRL, every day of the week. I don't care about the ads. All right. Tackled there is Clayton Falalo, who does come on in the place of Tom Trbojevic. So it looks like it's going to be Kohler then at fullback. Spotify Wrapped is run by Clankers. I know. I agree. And mine was objectively incorrect last year. But anyway. Ola Kawatu now up over the 20 here. One more to go in this set. Wakeham's at dummy half. Gets it to Fogarty. We'll go through the hands. Garrick just knocks that on. Yeah, this execution, I think, from both sides so far this game has been very, very poor. Very poor. It's in Daytona Beach, Florida. Well, I don't have a heap of interest in going to Florida at the moment. If I'm going to America, I would love to see New York. Would love to go back to Vegas, really, for the NRL again. Another error. Oh, my God, Cowboys. There's a chance here. Falalo, if he'd taken on his opposite man there, Braden Burns, might have got Hopewadi outside him anyway. Yeah, but problems like how... No one is 135 years old, so how is it like the listening habits of a 135-year-old? Anyway, I don't know. That's just sort of funny. All right, here we go. Calder's at fullback for sure. He's coming through the middle of the field now. He had that arm free there for an offload. Can't quite get it. All right, now in the hands of Fogarty. Underneath finds Hamole Olakawatu. Will be tackled very close to the line halfway through this set. Now it's Wakeham with his hands on the ball. Gets it now to Hetherington. Play stops sort of around the middle of the field there on the 4th. They'll go to the left-hand side. Brooks, he's been the man with the hot hand so far. Gets it to Benchamovic. Beautiful little offload. Kolar can't quite get to the line, but there's still one more to go here for Manly. Wakeham's a dummy half. Goes out the back to find Brooks. Cut out. It eventually makes its way to find Lehi Hopewade. And he scored 2 of the easiest tries of his career. Untouched on both of them. Manly in once more. It's been brilliant work from them so far to start this game. And as I said, execution for both sides has been terrible. But the error there, jeez, that's poor from Jackson Purdue. Out of his own end, that's unforgivable. They went the short side. It's a risky play there, but they had a 3-on-2 situation. Brooks just went through the hands there. Falalo stood in the tackle, got it out to find Lehi Hopewade. Easiest put down he will ever have. Lucky says, why is Fosball working again? I had a bet with my girl, I'm assuming, saying that if the Cowboys lose, I'm getting drenched with ice water. That's, I mean, gamble responsibly in that. That doesn't sound healthy, but anyway. Anyway. TGS Games is happy, though. Very, very happy. Mrs. Leaguie, I'm pretty sure I replied to you with my thoughts in the DMs. Alrighty. So, my timer is frozen. I just looked at my timer and I was like, that's objectively not how much of the game is gone. Lashitsky has resubscribed on Twitch. Thank you so much. Let me just fix up this timer. My latest payment from Twitch actually came through the other day, and I was blown away, absolutely blown away by how much it was. I mean, okay, we're not talking the most tremendous amounts of money necessarily in terms of salary. However, it was about $100, which for the last month in ad revenue is very good. Like, that's very, very good. So thank you everyone who's watching over on Twitch, but particularly those who subscribe. It does mean absolutely heaps to me. It can be a very game-changing opportunity for me to have that. So, yeah, thank you so much. Fogarty from the sideline here. Hits it. That is gorgeous. That's as good as you could possibly want from a Manly perspective. They've taken a 10-0 lead here early. And Daddy Toddy Payton is searching for answers. That's brilliant. What are your thoughts on Paul Gallen saying Shane Flanagan's the worst coach in the history of the NRL? I find it incredibly unlikely that he said that. Can you give me a source? Given that I think Shane Flanagan probably coached Paul Gallen in more games than any other coach, and they won a premiership together, I find that incredibly unlikely. But anyway. Manly will win 24 games in a row with Fosball. I mean, they're looking great. Like, they really are. I doubted them coming into this game. Obviously, heaps left to go here. It's only 10 points to 0. However, they're looking very good. Luke Brooks is looking very good. Just saying, we did beat them earlier. I know it wasn't Fosball. I'm glad we beat them before they decided to become the greatest team in the comp. They play Para next week, then Penrith. Penrith is going to be a huge test for them. Huge test. All right. Jake Trbojevic with his headgear now up to close to the 30. Wakeham will be in that dummy half. Yeah, the 9 app is, yeah, it is very slow. It is. All right. Turbo ruled out with Hammy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not incredibly surprised there. Did I hear you right? Oh, no. What did I say? Listening age 135 is possible because it calculates based on the release date. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense then. Both sides have knocked on that play. It will be Cowboys ball, though. The Hello Sport guys are raging. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. It'd be weird because you'd be very happy with the performance of your side so far in this game if you're a Manly fan, but then the Trbojevic problem. Yeah. Not ideal. Not ideal. Sorry, not Gallen. It's one of those guys on the NRL show. Okay. I mean, if one of them said it, again, I would completely disagree with that. But I also, if someone went on one of the, like the Channel 9 show and said Shane Flanagan's the worst coach in history, I would find that very hard to believe, no matter who it is. I doubt that, but I'd love to see it. All right. How many... So many injuries for Turbo, I can't even count on my fingers. Yeah, it's tragic. Look, I'm not diagnosing him. This one could be an insignificant injury, but we'll find out. We'll find out. All right, Cotter now into the line. What happened to Song? I heard hamstring, but I missed the first 10 minutes. I mean, it looked like hamstring. Yeah, he just went down in the tackle and hobbled off the field. Chester now gets it to Braden Burns. Tackled there by Brooks and Hopoate. Plays it quickly. Has to have a second go at that. Now in the hands of Drinkwater, who's got a heap of space in front of him. Out to find Tommy Deard, and now Clifford. Kick in behind. Jason Saab can't do the slips catch. And will be caught in goal. Geez, that could have gone very, very badly for Manly. Very bad for Manly. Sponsors, says Da Vinci. Don't know what you mean by that, cuz. Not entirely certain what that is in reference to, but anyway. Yes, Ropio2. How can I help you? Watson says, I'm going to listen to you and not bother watching it. I would not recommend that, because I am not a great commentator most of the time. All right. He's probably the worst coach to ever win a comp. Look, it's a hot field. There's a lot of coaches who have won premierships. But I would find it difficult to believe that in the 100-plus year history of the game, no worse coach has ever won a premiership. We did go for that to see borders as domestic terrorists, Leaguie. Very, very true. Leaguie Eshe reveal, Oi bra, Eshe's what do you need, lad? That is not what I said. That is objectively not what I said. Cohen has to score a rugby league try here. That is a brilliant textbook front rowers try from the Queensland prop. Cowboys in for their first of this game.
Come on the Cowboys, come on the Cowboys.
It was soft. It was soft. That's a very good observation. I mean, look, he's a good front rower, Cohen has. He's versatile, can fill in a number of different spots, but that was just literally off the back of a short ball from his halfback there. Barely got a hand on him, to be honest. No fullback at home there with Tolu Kola. Not that Kola, I think, could have done much to stop him. And Cowboys are right back into this. They'll convert this goal and only be 4 shy. But given that it's all been Manly to start this game, that's very, very good from a North Queensland perspective. This is what I saw in these before the season started. Yeah, I mean, I predicted them both pretty low as well. I agree. Thoughts on the Hungarian election? I want to know, because given that you've asked me that, do people actually, like, value my political opinion? Because I get asked that a lot, and I'm not trying to big up myself by any means. But we do often talk about politics, and I feel that I'm rambling. But I appreciate you asking. It's a positive sign for political trends around Europe, in my opinion. Orban was someone who had an insidious grip hold and stranglehold on media over there. And it's a good sign that the power of people can still overcome the power of media to manipulate them and convince them to vote in particular ways. Given that it was such a landslide as well, it was very, very impressive. So, yeah, I'm very happy to see it. Like the dude that's coming in to replace him, I can't remember his name, Nagar, maybe? Something like that. He's not a liberal. He's quite a conservative politician. However, he's not, you know, the extremist that Orban was. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, there we go. His opponent is still right-wing. That's what I just said. But it's a step, I think, in the correct or the right direction. Really for the vast majority of political positions. Because, as I said, Orban was very, very extreme. So even if you are a conservative, I think most conservatives would be quite happy about it. Yes, Leaguie for PM of Australia. I'm turning 18 next year and I'm voting for you. We need Leaguie for PM. You absolutely do not want that, I promise you.
Leaguie just redeemed, change the background color. I would like black and white as a tribute to Leaguie's music taste. Guess what logo of one of you fab bands is black or white, and I will tell you what I was thinking of. Also up the Eagles chi.
Brilliant chi-hoo there from from the text to speech. I'm going to say the Beatles, but also Oasis are black and white. So Chester is through the line here on the 4th. He's got speed, but great tackle there by Clayton Falala. Can't complete it. In fact, Chester's still going here. Eventually loses his footing. And the ball's cut free. Oh, my days. Luke Brooks, what a play. Luke Brooks is having a really, really good game. He's having an absolutely outstanding game today. That's a brilliant play. It's basically what Kohler did earlier on in this game, making the line break down that side of the field, but loses the ball. Awesome work. Awesome work. Leaguie, I heard you aren't supporting Oz in the Rugby League World Cup. Is this true? It is completely true. There are 10 teams. I'd like any of the other 9 to win the tournament. Alrighty. Leaguie, you can't be that bad. We may have Albo or Pauline Hanson. We need you. I promise you, I am significantly less competent than the likes of Albo. So, alrighty. I mean, well, Mrs. Leaguie, they both have black and white logos. But yeah. Anyway. On the first here, off the back of a 6 again, they drink water. Running into the line. Now in the hands of Braden Burns. Up over the 40. Good field position here for the North Queensland Cowboys. Leaguie, can I go to the Oz versus Fiji World Cup game? I mean, that's not my decision to make, but I hope you do. Would be very cool. All right. Sonny Luke. Are they playing each other? I actually can't remember the groups off the top of my head. We're 6 months away from it, though. I really need to lock into the International Rugby League content. Luke had a dummy half. Jesus, done well there. Running in behind. That's a solid 15-meter run from him. Awesome. Now being played. Dearden has the ball in his hands. Gets it to Clifford. They go through the hands. Drinkwater. Short ball for O'Donnell. And they'll just go through the hands on the last. Look, again, it's not a great last tackle play, but not a bad place to turn the ball over. I would take you in Parliament House over the genocidal koala. Who's the genocidal koala? Can we get into that a bit? Rugby says, I'm from Cook Islands. I really want my country to beat New Zealand and Aussie, but I don't see it happening. Unfortunately, I have to agree. I also don't see it happening, but I'd love it to happen. Really, Cook Islands, I mean, you're the... I said this on Bloke a few months ago. You're the perennial punching bags of International Rugby League. Just because you are the weakest nation in terms of, like, not only population size, but then just player base size of the Pacific nations that play Rugby League. So it's very tough, but I just love seeing Cook Islands competing in games. It's always really good to see. That's not true, Mrs. Leaguie. The Beatles did a lot in colour. All right, kick there from Brooks on the last. Underneath it is Scotty Drinkwater. Oh, Saab, in fact, was the player closest to it, and he didn't catch it. It's going to be offside here, penalty Manly. It will be. Will be. So they're going to rule that this is an escort on Jason Saab, I think. Alrighty. Will you fly up to Brizzy for the Rugby League World Cup final? I don't know the answer to that question. I've basically... Oh, hang on. We've got a... Clayton Falala's on report here. I'm basically taking a risk myself by not making any plans for, like, going to Rugby League World Cup games or booking travel or accommodation or whatever, because I'm hoping that I'm going to be somehow involved in the tournament. I'm going to have some sort of role. And I am working in the background to make that happen. But it's just the fact that I haven't got plans to go is then driving me to, like, you know, make sure that I do end up there one way or another. 6 more here for Manly. Alrighty. Fogarty now for Olakawatu. Close to the line, but not quite there. Now Simpkin will be the dummy half. Gets it short to Siosiwa Taukeiaho, who is tackled there. The veteran. Simpkin goes himself. Burns another tackle there. On the third here, it's going to be, sorry, not Simpkin. Wakeham at dummy half. So this is interesting. What position is Wakeham playing then? Fogarty kicked it behind. Ben Trbojevic has got it and scored. I think he was offside here. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Gerard Sutton's awarding the try. I think it's offside. Let's see what happens.
Manly-Warringah, Manly-Warringah, they'll all be waltzing behind you.
It looked like Fogarty just held the ball a little bit too much here. I'm very curious to see. Yeah, looking at that, I can't think that Ben Trbojevic is onside, personally. Cooper Cronk looks like he agrees with me at the moment. Mrs. Leaguie, again, I don't know if that has happened. Again, like, I guess you can confirm it with me or not, but I haven't read anywhere that he's actually offered his position to Scott Drinkwater, but I'm not sure. Can you name a team better than the 2015 Rabbitohs or 2019 Roosters? 2015 Rabbitohs weren't. I think they were top 4, but that wasn't either on the comp. 2019 Roosters are brilliant, but I think one of the Penrith sides in recent seasons has been better. Tries confirmed. Okay. Tries confirmed. I'm surprised at that. I really wasn't sure. Maybe it's a benefit of the doubt type situation. Alrighty. My ears never put that on again, Leaguie. It's not good. Not the Manly theme song. It is a very good theme song. I really like it. Hey, look, it's a cultural icon. Yeah, Maltzy Matilda, we love it in this country. That's what it's all about. So, all right, we're back to the green for another 12 seconds before someone redeems background color change. All right, here we go. Fogarty from right in front to make it a 10-point game. He does it. 16 points to 6. It is. Manly looking good, even without their captain. Even without their captain. All right. We're playing Sweet Home Alabama. Shout out Leonard Skinner. Thoughts on the rumors that the 2 school shootings in Turkey were the work of Mossad? Well, I don't know anything about the school shootings in Turkey, and I know very little about Mossad. I know who they are, but not a heap, so I will be steering clear of that one. Anyway. That's cool, Subway. Yeah, it feels like it's been a while since I've seen you in the chats for a while. Anyway. Don't know about that, WTF, unfortunately. Did you move places? The background for this live stream is different to the background of last year's live streams. I did. I got moved, more specifically. But yes, I moved to a new place, and I don't have all the pictures behind me. But although I know that a lot of people prefer the old one, I prefer this one. I think it's more professional. So, yeah. Anyway. All right, Wakeham now. Gets it to Hamale Olakwatu. I'm just trying to figure out what role Brandon Wakeham is playing, because Simkin is very clearly the dummy half here. Is Wakeham sort of playing a lock role? Jake Trbojevic is off the field, so that would make some sense. Yeah, surely. All right. Kohler now. Spins away from one. Oh, geez, he really should have got the ball away there. There was space out there on the edge. Now in the hands of Fogarty. He will be just outside the 40, so it won't be a 40-20, but he's kicked it nicely. Underneath it is Drinkwater. So inside 10 minutes left to go in this first half. Scott Drinkwater with the ball in his hands. You should give out this background at the end of the year. Yes, I will just take down my wall and send it out to people. I think Wakeham came on for Mr. Headgear. Wakeham was always on the field, but yes, I think he's shifted into that lock role. Alrighty, so up to the 40 now. It's going to be Sonny Lucan at dummy half here. 9 minutes left to go halfway through this set. Now in the hands of... Is that Viliami Vailea on the field? Is on playing... No, it's not Vailea, excuse me. It's Thomas McKaylee. There's number 16 and number 18, getting them confused. Error, though, from the North Queensland Cowboys. I think Burns has made it. Is play live here? No, I think we're looking for a play the ball. Yeah, so it's going to be a HI for Jobo. Yeah, Chico, Wakeham did have quite substantial off-field issues. From memory, he was arrested at training over suspicion of a stabbing, but I believe that he was acquitted of those charges. Hey, Leaguie, someone just redeemed a thing.
Rugby02 just redeemed change the background color. Change the color to...
Change the color to red and white. Okay. White is very difficult for me to get, but I will try. It's going to end up looking pink, really. But anyway. That's red and white. That's what it is. I can do... That's just red. You know what? That's better. That is better. All right. So, Joel Fogarty now for Hamale Olakwatu. Holds the ball. Oh, that's a great pass for Jason Saab. It's going to be ruled... in fact, it's not going to be ruled forward. It's going to be a penalty to North Queensland here. For an obstruction, I assume. Hamale saying challenge. Okay. I would not be challenging this. 2 reasons. 1, it is super early on in the game to be putting in this challenge. 2, the benefit that they would have had from that play is gone. It's gone. I think this is going to be a very poor challenge. How long do you think it will take for the Dragons to rebuild? Because the wheels have completely fallen off. Yeah, this is a terrible, terrible challenge. Terrible challenge. Anyway. It's going to take a long time. It is. And that sucks because Dragons have been one of the most average teams for the last 10 years. Really. They, in 2018 and I think maybe 2019, had positive starts to the season. And had a really good team in 2018. But they've just been middling. I feel that they had, coming into the season, they'd found an identity and a future building around these young forwards. And they still got that. But with a guy like Loco Pacific-Tonga demanding a release, that started to go away just a little bit. The fact is, history shows, you cannot build a good team without good halves. Without, like, Cook and Gutherson, a good 9-1. Good experience, good guys to bring in and set standards at the club. However, with halves like Flanagan and Atkinson, you need someone better than that. You really do. So, yeah. Anyway. All right, Clifford. With the ball in his hands, there's 2 more to go here. Cowboys attacking Purdue. That's going to be touched by Manly. And that's it. So, it's going to be Manly ball. Not the worst challenge I've seen, but well up there. I mean, yeah, I agree. There have been worse ones. But given the context of it, how there was so little to gain and so much to lose, yeah, I don't know why. But anyway. The Storm will not play finals if they lose tomorrow. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. However, I do think there's a real chance that they lose tomorrow, and I hope that that happens because I'm going to be there. Fogarty, that is a monstrous kick. Doesn't have the angle for it, though. Alrighty. Drinkwater with the ball in his hands. Tackled there by Ben Trebojevic. Okay, well, no, I believe you, Mr. League, if you've verified it. It's interesting. I mean, I guess in some respects it doesn't surprise me. I think if Drinkwater were to arrive at the club, Gutherson would move position. I wonder if he might move to 5'8", though. But anyway. League, you going to Chooks and Newcastle? I am, yes. Oh, penalty here. Tommy Chester hit high. Cowboys with a chance late in this first half. Inside 6 minutes left to go in this one. Yeah, I will be going. So 2 games are going to this week. Sort of why I'm not... This is actually my only stream of the week because I'm not going to be able to stream on Friday or Sunday. And Saturday I'm going to be with my family. So, yeah. Of the 9 Pepsi Maxes you bought yesterday, how many have you drunken? I want to clarify this. So there's an image that's been circulating around my Discord of me at a Coles self-checkout with, I don't think it was 9. I think it was actually 12 bottles of Pepsi Max. I'd like to confirm that that was an image from several months ago. I do not, in fact, have that Pepsi Max anymore. It has gone straight to a location that I like to refer to as Tummy Town. I just moved back to Canberra. I had no Pepsi Max, and I very much do live off it. My body type is PM. So, yeah. McKaylee, dummies, goes through the middle. Oh, that's a front rower's try, Tommy McKaylee. Awesome work there. That's his first, Tommy McKaylee. No. They're going to go no try. Andrew Voss has just said you can't take that off him when we're going up no try. No, he's swearing. He's not sure. They reckon he lost the ball. Oh, no. It got taken off him last week. Was it last week or the week before? Tommy McKaylee, let's see here. No. Ball's lost. Ball's lost. Oh, Tommy McKaylee. He's a modern man's Alex Twal. He really is. How many NRL games has Tommy had? 93. 93 appearances, 0 tries. Poor Tom McKaylee. Timu Twal, I know. That's devastating. Gerard, you are a villain. I mean, look. It would have been taken away by the bunker, which I think would have been more cruel, so... Thoughts on the TWP winning the 1927 Liberian election with a 1,210% or something? Vote. Yeah, 1,210% of the vote. That is not a typo. I was very much in favor of their immigration policy. Basically preying on dumb Americans, because I don't know if you've seen the flag of Liberia, but it looks a lot like the flag of the USA. It's the exact same, except instead of 50 stars, it only has 1 star. So their ability to and that government policy that they ran within that election to then try and attract American immigrants who were too stupid to realize that they were moving to a remote African nation instead of the USA. I think that was very effective. Also, shout out to George Weah. All right, up over the 20 now. Leaguie, if I decide to go to Brizzy for the Rugby League World Cup final, what seats are the best at Suncorp? It's difficult to find a seat at Suncorp that isn't good. Just go with what you can afford, really, because they are all outstanding. Subway, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Alrighty. So, 4 minutes left to go in this first half here. Luke Brooks is in the dummy half. Gets it to Fogarty. Solid set there from Manly. Their whole first half has been good, given the errors from both sides. Oh, Drinkwater! That is an absolute howler. That's a howler. And they've given a try here to Brandon Wakeham. Hopewadi had a chance for a third. Brandon Wakeham, I don't know how long it's been since he scored a rugby league try. But off the back of Scott Drinkwater's nightmare error, Manly have another. That is shocking. That's really bad. Scott Drinkwater has moments like this in him. No doubt about it. But late in the first half, still in touch, right? You're 10 points down, but that he just massively overran that. Can't get the catch. Hopewadi gets it easily, and in fact gets it to his number 9. I rate that from him. The hat-trick was on. Hat-trick was on from Lehi Hopewadi. It would have been the easiest hat-trick I think ever scored, really. It was absolutely nonchalant. They gave it to Brandon Wakeham instead. Random Tigers guy in the background. Shout out to him. 20 points to 6. Kick to calm. That's huge. Psychologically. That's huge. I find it interesting that next year the Dogs will have the largest stadium in the NRL. We're in being Accor. I mean, I'm pretty sure Souths will still be playing the majority of their games at Accor Stadium. So how long before Robertson starts feeling the heat? Roos is now in 10th and looking pretty average, yet he escapes a lot of criticism. I know he has mates in the media, but surely it can't be radio silence. Hang on. Hang on. You're not getting me. You're not getting me. Look, I know I may have the face of a prepubescent 11-year-old. However, you said, or someone said that exact same thing about Ricky Stewart, I think. And then later it was Josh Hannay. I'm not having that. I'm cluey to it, bro. I'm cluey to it. I see your game, Wubu God. I know you. I know you. You've been in the streams for long enough for me to be able to tell. I'm proud of myself. I'll look at the errors from both sides here. Team stats on NRL.com. Oh, lordy. 10 errors from North Queensland. Oh, dear. No, no, no. 10. Rugby League errors. 5 from Manly. I would have thought it was more from Manly, to be honest. Not more than North Queensland, but more than 5. But wow. 10 errors from the Cowboys. Holy. I'm very glad to hear that, Mrs. League. That's good stuff. Are the Cowgirls about to be 50 bombed? I'd say no, but I mean, geez, they've been pretty terrible. They really have been. Can't confirm we play most games at Accor next year. Yeah, it's they really announced, oh, we're moving back to Allianz, and then like quietly actually gave the schedule, and it's like a slow shift over the course of I think 4 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons. But anyway, I don't care. I'm in favor of Souths playing at Allianz, so it's fine. Yeah, there we go. For in 2028, it will be a 7-5 split. Yeah, so still a few seasons to go. I tricked 2 people on the r/NRL subreddit. You nearly got me. You really nearly got me, but anyway. Alrighty. No, Lucky, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. I want to say, when Allianz first opened and there was talk of South Sydney playing there, I was incredibly against it because the Roosters had to do the hard yards of, I think, 4 seasons at the Sydney Cricket Ground. We'd been loyal to the SCG Trust, to the Moore Park area, and we deserved to have that new stadium as a result of our loyalty to that. However, well, knock on their Cowboys again. That's the 11th of the first half. But now that we've had it for a few years as the shiny new toy, it does just make sense to get South into that stadium, get them playing games there, attracting bigger crowds than they'll be able to at Accor. It does make sense. It will always be our home. We have played every single home game, every permanent home ground that we've had has been at Moore Park. Our center of excellence is there. It will always be our home more than theirs, but I don't mind them using it. Alrighty. With all due disrespect, you are the most South-loving Roosters fan I have ever seen. I am a rugby league-loving Roosters fan. Oh, geez, Kohler nearly scored again. The Cowboys have been terrible. They just couldn't defuse that situation there at all. Well, the Cowboys' hands covered in soap. Oh, sorry, wow, the Cowboys' hands are covered in soap. They really are. Look at this. It was a kickback over the top. Gronk is criticizing Drinkwater. Let's see here. Yeah, jeez. That's rough. Anyway. I am happy about that, Mrs. Leaguie. I assume it's a good thing, the way you framed it. Excuse me. I'm curious what Jake Travojevic has just asked Gerard Sutton, but anyway. Yeah, Dead League is right. I'm curious to know as well. But yeah, in terms of being a South-loving Roosters fan, I don't think that's very fair. But anyway. I do not love you, did he? No. So for those who have been doing the NRL grid today, I know a few people are doing it in my Discord, and I think Subway just said he was doing it now to give me perfect answers. I'm not that interested in you being able to find the best answer through trial and error and then giving it to me, just because it takes the fun out of it. I do want us to just do it together as a bit of a trivia thing, and we'll get to do it now. Here we go. Alrighty, so again, I'll reiterate for those that are new. This is the NRL grid. It is a game where you are doing trivia in the NRL era, 1998 onwards, and you're looking for the most niche players possible to fill in these categories. So this square, for instance, would be Michael Ennis' teammate who played for the Brisbane Broncos. We are looking for the lowest score possible, so the most niche players. Give me a player and give me a square you want me to put that player in. So, for example, Michael Ennis' teammate and charts, say Jason Bakuya, bottom left, and then I'll be able to put it in. So, is Union or League bigger where you're from? Well, I am from Sydney, Australia, and League is significantly better than Rugby Union. Bigger than Rugby Union. However, that's definitely a rarity globally. So you saw all the answers on Discord and you're testing your memory now? No, I intentionally went out of my way to not look at the answers on the Discord. I haven't seen any of them. Alrighty. Patrick Mago, Souths and Broncos. Let's send it. Patrick Mago. Brilliant. I will actually, I think, for this one, go with Jason Bakuya. I know... Oh, what about Sam Tagataizi? I think Bakuya's more niche, actually. I'm trying to think of anyone else from that 2016 side. I'm going back to Rugby League Live in my mind. Aaron Gray? He didn't play in the grand final, but anyway. Sharks and Michael Ennis teammate Mitch Brown, pretty sure. Okay, well, I think Mitch Brown will be better than Bakuya. If it's correct. It is correct. Well done. Well done. Alrighty. Peter Taylor for South 2005. Yeah, 2005 I need a lot of help with. I do not really know that era. Was it Peter Taylor? For Scotland, we prefer Union. I don't know much about League. Doesn't surprise me. Yeah, there's... Oh, that's a brilliant shout. Holy. Has that one been looked up? That's a bit sus. One game in 2005. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, in Scotland, there's very little domestic rugby league activity. Rugby league is very big in the north of England, in the M62 corridor, talking Wigan, Leeds, Hull, Bradford, that kind of area. But very little activity north of that, really. So, not surprised, unfortunately. Nathan Merritt for South at 05. Well, we got better than that. Merrow for Bunnies and Sharks. Correct. However, I think we could do better. I think Aaron Gray would be better there. 05, Michael and his teammate Matthew Head. Alrighty. Whoa. Jeez, we're absolutely flying here, folks. Flying. Takataizi, Broncos, and Michael Ennis also works. Alright, yeah, let's do that. Okay, a bit of a higher score, but still, that's fine. What's more popular, Union or the NFL? Globally, Rugby Union, I think. I would say. Okay, I think that's all I can see there. There was a message from Woo we got earlier, but I missed that. Okay, I will read out what he said, because It's a bit of an essay, and you guys can have some time to think in the meantime. Cowboys have been such a weird side for the past 3 or 4 years. When they start winning, they go on a massive winning streak. But the moment they lose, it's all downhill from there. Todd Payton goes from being under severe pressure at the starting 2 games of the season to having his job being secure after winning 4 in a row. For example, in 2023, when Cowboys went on a 10-game winning streak mid-season and still managed to miss the top 8 through the amount of losses experienced before and the winning streak. I'm telling you, Cowboys should be sitting in 3rd place mid-season and still... Oh, sorry, could be sitting in 3rd place mid-season and still miss top 8. They are that inconsistent side. Objectively correct. No notes. I have no disagreements there. What it goes to show you, though, is how fickle sometimes the media narrative around it can be, especially when it's a team way out of Sydney where we don't give them that much attention. We do have a bit of a habit to put them in a box of either everything's going very well there or everything is an absolute basket case there. And the Cowboys, yeah, they often go between those two, but it's rarely just... You don't often hear about, oh, the Cowboys are doing okay right now. You don't hear that. Anyway. Corey Parker, 500-plus points in Broncos. We have had that category before, and I always go with Corey Parker, and it's always the highest score. So I want to try and figure out someone else. What about, like, Jermaine Asako? If need be, you could put Benji for 500 points in 05. You could also put Benji for 500 points in Broncos. Benji didn't get enough points. Okay, well, never mind then. Russell Aiken, Southern Bunnies. Are you saying Southern Sharkies, I'm assuming? I want to go with Aaron Gray. It's probably a higher score than who you're suggesting, but I want to at least have some contribution here. So, because all of these have been you guys. So there's my little one, Aaron Gray. Parker's disappointingly high. I would have thought so. Okay. Has Jermaine Asako got 500 points? I think we had this before, and I was like, Asako hasn't got 500 points, and then he did by far. John's middle right would be correct, but I imagine would be very high. I want to go with Asako because we've got one refresh. Okay. Not the highest. That's a mid-range answer for that, so I'll take that. 500 plus points in Sharks. Val Holmes would probably be one. Maloney would for sure be one. I like the shout of James Maloney. That's really the state of NRL media at this point. Even when you're a club going through a tough period like Dolphins, you'd still get no attraction from the media or NRL 360. It's... I mean, I feel that I'm recycling these old talking points. I've been saying this for 2 years. It is clicks. It solely is. And we care more about Sydney clubs. It's true. That's where the audience is. People care about those clubs more than they care about the ones on the peripheral, like Townsville, like Canberra, like Newcastle, whatever. So, yeah. 05, 500 points, Luke Burt. Let's send it. Shout out to him, Lukey Burt. Parramatta? Yeah, Parramatta player. I remember him from Para. Mrs. League, you would have been correct. No doubt about it. However, it would have been a very high scoring answer, I would imagine. Sonny Bell played in 05. He wouldn't have 500 points, though. How is it the MLB makes more money than the Premier League soccer? Crazy. It does? Really? Matt Rogers? Again, correct. However, would Matt Rogers be a higher or lower score than James Maloney? What about, like, the David Peachy kick goals? Kahu would have worked. Kahu got 500 points. Really? Can one of the mods please time out Kiwi something? Okay. We'll go with... I really want to go with Maloney. I love James Maloney, but we'll go with Matt Rogers. Bang! Very nice. I'm surprised we got a unicorn for that. Rank 22 out of 480, folks. That is very, very good work. I am surprised that Jordan Kahu would have worked for 500 plus points. I mean, I'm not doubting that you're correct. I just want to look up how many points he scored here. Wow, only just... I remember he goal kicked for the Broncos. I didn't realize he did it that much. Holy. He's only 35 as well. So he would have retired at like 30 years of age. Damn. I loved Jordan Kahu back in the day. Absolute vibe of a player. Whole vibe. I want to read what Ruben said has been given words of wisdom here. That's really stated the NRL media, even then when you're a club going through a tough period like Dolphins, you still get no attraction for the media or NRL 360. Storm's current rut could and should be a talking point of the media for how rare and interesting it is. We could never realistically imagine for maybe the rest of our lives at this rate, but instead of talking about Storm, they recycle the same talking points about Dogs or Tigers. Like, how many times can you talk about Garvin's current form until you get bored and want to move on to another topic of interest? Yeah, but the thing is, with a topic like Lachlan Garvin's form, it gets two genres of fan. It gets the genre of fan who want the downfall of this young kid, right? Because there's a lot of people who still think Lachlan Garvin's stuck up, Lachlan Garvin's entitled. You know, he thought he was too good for the Tigers, so he went, you know, all this stuff. But then you also have the people who are sick to death of hearing Lachlan Garvin articles and will click on it in frustration and anger, being like, what on earth has happened now? Why are they still talking about him? I'm going to have a look. So it's both of those things, really. Both of those things. Alrighty. Yeah, that's time for one more. There's time for another one. Especially given that, as I've said, we do not have a stream tomorrow or any other day this week. So let's do this one. This is yesterday's one. It is the Roosters as one of the rows, so I should be able to go okay there. Teammate of Brett Finch. Not sure I'd be building a NRL grid around Finchy, but anyway, okay. Is what it is. Roosters have lost the grand final. I know Anthony Minicello lost about $1 billion. I'm trying to think of the 2010 side. Kane Linnett. I'm going to go with Kane Linnett. Happy with that. Dan Hunt, Dragons played in 2010. Send it. Bang. Good start. I hear you say you like Georgia Maloney. I don't know where you've ever heard me say that. Definitely not something I've said. Dragons in 2010, Andrew McCulloch. Well, we've got one there already, unfortunately. Lost the grand final and played in 2010. There's going to be a lot of players here. Yeah, even the top score is 1.75. So the top score is very, very low. Let me think of losing sides around then. Jacob Arthur, Para, and lost the grand final is a great shout. That is a brilliant shout from you. Yeah, awesome. Grand final try scorer, Jacob Hunt. I was there at that grand final. Shout out to him. Leaguie, Roosters, and lost the grand final. Alan Neal, we have already gone with Kane Linnett in there. Dragons and Roosters. Let me have a think about that. Jamie, I can never remember if Jamie Soward played first grade at the Roosters. I know it was at our system. I think he did play first grade, but I'm not completely certain. Robson? Anyway. I just heard you say you like Maloney. Why? Oh, no. Maloney. James Maloney. The former Sydney Roosters, Cronulla Sharks, New Zealand Warriors, Melbourne Storm, and Penrith Panthers, 5'8". Matt King for Storm. I'm going to be so real. That is straight up not one of the categories. Anyway. Played and lost the grand final in 2010. Luke Corville. Not a name I was going for. Or Coville, sorry. Apparently not. So we have used our refresh. Chico, I have said this a fair bit. I'm going to need you to tell me where you want me to put the name as well as the name itself. Because I'm not sure. Jason Riles played in 2010. Which one, though? Sauer did play for Roosters. Okay. It's going to be a high score. So I don't really want to do it. But I can't really think of who else. Craig Garvey? Oh, I can't take that risk. And they are coming out again. Okay, I'll just complete this quickly. Sauer, yeah, okay, decent score. Lost the grand final. Okay, who was it? Riles. This Chico. Nice. Teammate of Brett Finch, and at the Roosters, I'm going to say probably a Nasta throughout that period. Yep. Played in 2010, and a teammate of Brett Finch. Let's go with Oh, my days. I'm absolutely blanking. It's so high, but English. Dragons and Para. Alvaro. Daniel Alvaro. And teammate of Brett Finch at Para. I really don't know. What the hell? I am blanking so hard. I don't know. Who should go in that one? I need a suggestion. Fooey it is. Bang. All right. Absolute mid-range. Second half is underway, folks. Let's get into it. Forget the NRL grid. We've got actual NRL to watch. And it's a run from the Polar Bear Griffin Neem off the kickoff there for the North Queensland Cowboys. So, I thought that they'd be going into the halftime break 10 points down. 60 points to 6 would have been the scoreline. And psychologically speaking, that is definitely a margin that you can overcome. 10 points is nothing in the modern game. However, that error for Drinkwater very late in that first half where he over-chased that kick, ended up losing it backwards. Leahy Opawati picked it up and gave it to Brandon Waker for that try. Changes the outlook of this match completely. Flips it on its head. Not in a good way, unfortunately, for the North Queensland Cowboys. It's now a very, very difficult prospect to see him come back into this game, even despite the fact that Manly-Warringah are without their captain, Tontovovic there at fullback. They really do just have to defend their way to this victory, and I do think that 22 can be a winning score. So, Dina will kick to end their first set from their own end there. Leahy Opawati gets it across to find Tolu Kola, the makeshift fullback, into the line himself. Damn, Eminem has nothing on me. That was absolute rap god-esque. Hey, so right there from Jason Saar. Head dent check.
Subway 676 just
there we
redeemed
go, folks.
head dent check.
In all of its glory, my head. Shocking. Oh, you want to know something? Actually, I've often, not done streams on a particular day for one reason or another. And I don't know why. However, always in the chat, people are like, oh, you mustn't be doing the stream because you've got a date that day. Massively overestimating the number of dates that I ever really go on. However, did actually have a cheeky little date on Monday. Went quite nicely. Will have a second one. She seems cool. So I said that every single time I denied it, I said, if I did have a date, I'd be shouting it from the hills and let you know. I guess this is me letting you know. You will know nothing more than that. Alrighty. Lucky, unfortunately, my dog is not with me at the moment, but I will be seeing her in a couple days' time. All right. Brooks now to find Ben Trbojevic. Now in the hands of Clayton Falala. This is the fourth stepping infield. I thought he would surely keep going in that direction. However, does well there. Still gets another 10 meters there. Takes the tackle. Great set here from Manly. On the last, Hopawate to find Jamal Fogarty. It's being chased by Ola Kawatu. Can't really meaningfully go up for it, but they are going to be caught in goal there. 0-11 turned into a 1-11. Very true, Tiger. That's elite ball knowledge from you. It was not chess. No, Dilly, swear it was not. I love how I say very explicitly, you are not going to know any more than that. And Subway immediately is like, give me her identity. M&Ms are definitely better than Skittles. In my mind. No doubt about it. Is that knock on Manly? Yes, that's going to be the ruling. And they absolutely squandered their challenge earlier in this game. So, yeah. Any advice on how to find a girl? If you, leave the house, statistically speaking, this will shock a lot of people, but about 50% of the people that you'll see are women. So, they're mostly around the gaff. You know what I'm saying? They do hang around. Not that difficult to go out and find them. Does she know rugby league? She is familiar with the concept of rugby league, yes. Penalty there for the North Queensland Cowboys. It's the second, I think, penalty for high contact so far in this game. Zach Lomax is starting for the first time in rugby union this week. Good for him. Happy to hear that. I still wish him the best, although, yeah, now that he's at union, I don't really care that much about the trajectory of his career. Leaguie, do you think Newcastle will fall off or the Tigers? Newcastle are more likely to. But they've also got a heap of injuries at the moment. Dylan Brown's coming back in this week, which annoys me as a Roosters fan. But no Dylan Lucas, no Tyson Frizzell, no Brady Bess. They've got a fair bit of work ahead of them. So, yeah. Hey, Leaguie, someone just redeemed. That's cool, George. That's very cool.
Chico, we 420 just redeemed. Change the background color. Change the background color to red and green. Also fuck the Roosters.
Okay, no, I'm not doing that. Chico, unfortunately, you doing that on text-to-speech, yeah, that's a massive timeout for you. Can't have you playing swear words out on the text-to-speech. All right. Luke gets it to Scotty Drinkwater, puts kick up in the air. Underneath it is Tolu Kola. Great catch there from the Tongan centre, playing fullback today in the absence of Tommy Turbo. All right, now Jason Saab hitting it up out of the 10-metre line. Leaguie, how many kids are you going to have? Generally speaking, I'd like to have 3. I'm a family of 3 kids, so yeah. All righty. Yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with the South colours in the background. It's just, you know, we've had some conversations with Chico in the past about the negativity. Didn't want that playing out on the text-to-speech, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm sure he knows. I would apologise. All right, kick there from Fogarty. It's hoisted up in the air from the halfback. Jeez, that was not the easiest take there from Laybutt, but he got it done in the end. Leaguie, are Newcastle playing Smith against us? Sandon Smith? Yes, they are. Yeah. All right, played here by Jake Clifford on the halfway line, on the second now. Braden Burns, just a regulation hit up into the into line there. Well, didn't really have much support there, but anyway. Hello, Eli. Good to see you. Okay. Neem now up to the 40. Rogue answer, big fella. 2 or for 3 is... Oh, 2 or 4. 3 is an unlucky number. I mean, I'm going to have the amount of kids that I think is right for me. Don't care about the luck or the unlucky numbers. It's been very good in my family. 3 kids, so I'll go with that. Lucas at dummy half. 30 meters out. Kick from Din up in the air. They're chasing through hard, but I don't think they're going to get in there in time to contest it. No, Kohler will get it. He's done a very good job there at fullback, Tolu Kohler, so far. It's interesting because I really thought that a couple of years ago, the next man up at fullback there for Manly was Leahy Hopewadi. He played fullback for Tonga. I remember in a game against Australia and was brilliant. Like, really, really played above his weight. But it's firmly become Tolutau Kohler in recent weeks. All right. Speaking of the devil, Leahy Hopewadi now taking a tackle there. No time soon, Lucky. I'm not in a position to be able to afford that, and also not in a relationship, so yeah. All right. Simpkins in a dummy half now. On the last here, inside the 40. Fogarty kicks it. That's angled for a 40-20. It does eventually, though, find Scotty Drinkwater on the full. So read it well there, the fullback. He's done well. As I said earlier, did he? No. That's not true. Lashinsky will still absolutely be doing it during the offseason. And as I said, probably during Origin as well. Dean is in the dummy half, giving it now to Laybutt. There's a guy who... I'm curious to see him on the wing because I really did view him as like a specialist center. I thought coming through the grades, he was a center. But anyway, he's a guy who I rated very highly. He had a great start to the season a couple of years ago, then in his ACL. Has been out for a very long time, but back in the side now. Can be a good handy player. Now Chester, who's a guy who has been thriving in the centers there. Awesome run from him, and not the first awesome run that he's had so far in this game. Now in the hands of Drinkwater, there's space in front of him. Gets it offload away to Chester, goes for the line. It's about a meter shy of it. Can't quite get there though. 22-6, it remains. Mrs. Leaguie says, it must be only boys though. Don't ask me for goals because 98% of goals aren't into rugby league. I don't think that's true, and I actually think it's growing. The number of female... the proportion of the female population that were into rugby league is definitely growing. It's going good. My audience is, I think, over 5% female now, which is more than I would have expected, for sure. I know it seems very low, but obviously I'm a rugby league channel. There is a bit of a disparity, but yeah, it's been good. Do you believe the earth is flat? No, I do not have mental deficiencies. Leaguie, would you allow Jai Gray to have your kids? I would not, unfortunately. Purely because I think if Jai Gray had my children, I wouldn't be able to tell Gray apart from my kids. Like, literally, he is the size of a newborn, and I don't feel logistically I need that hassle in my life. So, yeah. Are we playing Crichton this weekend? Because he's a dad now. I am quite confident that we will. Yeah. I think if the child hadn't been born, there's a chance that we would have... waited, but Daniel Tupou as well had a kid the other week. I think it was the game we played against Manly, from memory. And he didn't train with the Roosters all week long. Penalty here, North Queensland. Didn't train with the Roosters all week long. Just came in on game day pretty much because he was waiting for his child to be born. So, yeah. Alrighty. That's very nice of you, Hoover God. I appreciate that. What if your girl's a South fan? I said this before. I would love to go out with a South fan. I think the banter would be brilliant. Are you a Dill type of Dylan? I'm partial to it, but not particularly. I was never really called Dill. All right. Lodge now. Leaguie, where do you think Loco, Pacific, and Tonga will end up? I hope the Roosters, although that hasn't really been said. But we lost Xavier Va'a this offseason just gone. I'm sure we could use another good young prop. With Lindsay Collins as well coming to the back end of his career. I'd love to have him. I don't think it is really linked with us substantively, though. So, anyway. Manly, I think, have knocked on there. What's the ruling? Wow. No, okay, now they rule a knock on. Yeah, I definitely thought it was knock on Manly. Anyway. Tupo gave birth on the day of the Chooks v Manly game. I'm not sure he specifically was the one who gave birth. I think it might have been his missus who did it. But he watched his missus give birth, I'm assuming. All right. Angus said he wanted to play because the news saying is going soft because he's a dad, but he was saying he's got to be even tougher because his baby's keeping him up. That's pretty funny, if that's the case. All right. Do you still have De La Salle? We do have De La Salle, yes, but not Xavier. Xavier's now over at the York Knights, I'm pretty sure, in the Super League. All right, here we go now. Dearden with the ball in his hands gets it to Matthew Lodge against his former club here in the Manly-Warringah Sea Eagles. Here we go. In a dummy half. Sonny Luke. Classified Dearden. Short ball potentially forward. And it's going to be called forward. Yeah. Yeah, I like that call. So 10 minutes gone so far in this second half. North Queensland have looked okay as a field position and have looked lively at a couple of different moments. But not really be able to convert it into points at all. Damn. What's popular? League or Union in Argentina? League is very non-existent there. It's Union. It's Union. We're playing Steep this weekend. I haven't looked. Is from where I am IRL. I go to a school. That's cool. Oh, his school's biggest rivals. I don't think Steepy is in the side. I don't really often look until the day before game day because I know there's always changes. Yes, Steep is not in the side. But still a very strong outfit for us. What would you do if you ended up on the Mayday podcast? Be very happy. Seeing Denon there was great. Seeing him go a bit more in depth. Obviously, I mean, I'm a huge fan of his. So it's good listen. Good listen. Alrighty. And Mrs. League, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it will be like a I can fix it type situation. To be abundantly clear, because it's been asked quite a bit, I have every intention of having my own children, not letting Michael Ennis or Jai Gray or anyone else have them for me. So, yeah. Alrighty. Can your next potty be the Fresh and Fit potty? I've not heard of the Fresh and Fit potty. What is that? But I get invited to them, so... The next thing I think that I will be on collaboratively will be a video that was recorded for the Buy Round YouTube channel, which I think will be out next week. Hello, Danny. Good to see you. Good offload there for the Cowboys. Now in the hands of Dearden. On the second, they're about 35 out from their own line. The halfback does just take the tackle there. So Manly really are defending their way to this win at the moment. We need the Wallabies captain and the Kangaroos captain to play a game of Tiddlywinks to see which sport is better. I don't think we need that. I think we know which sport's better. Anyway, Dearden now short ball to a charging Hylam Lukey. That was great work from him. Great work from him. All right. Dearden now puts a kick up in the air. Underneath this will be Tolu Kola. They're going to contest it, though. Chester, was that tackled in the air? That's going to be ruled to be a contest. Anyway. The fluoro boots there for Tommy Chester. It's hard to miss him. Is Turbo injury serious? We don't know. And we won't know probably until tomorrow morning when he goes off for scans. However, he's ruled out of this game. So it's not looking good. Leaguey, do you think it's already season over and Penrith are going to whoop everyone? No. We learn this every single season. Are Penrith my tip for the premiership? Yes. Do I think it's likely they win the premiership? Yes. However, the team that is absolutely lights out, firing away the best at the start of the season, quite often are not the best team at the end of the season. Ask any St. George Illawarra Dragons fan over the last decade or so. So, yeah, it's not looking good for the rest of the competition, but it's not by any means a foregone conclusion. Look at, say, the game last year, right? Where Melbourne were one of the dominant sides all season. I believe they finished second. Coming into that grand final, though, a game that they should have won, they started to go up against an opposition who were in good form, and on their day they can get it done. So yeah. Thoughts on Herbert the pervert? That's brilliant. Dominating against the Knights. It's been one of the great rugby league stories. Really, really is. And I'm so glad that he's retained his spot for this week as well. All right. Right up there to the 40. I think that's Tommy McKaylee who does play it. Now in the hands of Clifford. Short ball. That could have been forward as well. Anyway, they get away with that one. Sonny Luke will be in at dummy half. They're on the halfway line here. It's very, very slow play of the ball, but Clifford will do the kicking there on the last. He might be reading something, did he? I mean, it's not a illegitimate way to host a podcast. We have, for instance, on Bloke, a big TV in front of us that shows us what we're going to be talking about next. So it gives us an indication of what's to come. It can be very, very helpful. Hear me out, man. I thought doing that text-to-speech was going to pass because obviously I'm saying it as a joke, but lots of the time this community has been negative towards the team you support on multiple occasions. I guess you hate swear words on your main channel, so I respect that, so I'm sorry. It's okay. Yeah, I understand that it was probably a mistake or whatever, an accident, but I'm glad that you apologize. Yeah, I don't generally swear on my streams. I try not to, so yeah, I'm not keen on having the text-to-speech bot used that way, but it's okay. As long as we know now. Moving forward. Okay, keep going on the last from Manly. Underneath it is Scotty Drinkwater. Oh, that got a bit big on him there late, but he does complete the catch. That's what matters. So, again, Cowboys have got into a much better rhythm here. They're not making the errors that they were in the first half. They are building their sets quite nicely, making their way downfield without a heap of trouble. However, they do need the points. We've still got a long way left to go in this game. Still 24 minutes left. However, there does come a point where you've got to start making that margin a bit smaller. They really do. Won't be getting the dad analysis this week, unfortunately, because, again, I'll be at the Roosters game. I only want to call in for the Roosters game, so yeah. We won't get the red and green background unless someone redeems it again. Because, yeah, I can't do it based on that one. I don't care if you want to swear in my chat, Lucky, but doing it on text-to-speech I think is a different thing. Noah says, I'm at school at the moment. You should be paying attention. Although, it is the most me thing ever to be watching rugby league at school instead of paying attention. So, you know what? I'll give you that. And I turned out okay. So, yeah. Alrighty. Para, I'm a romantic. So, although it's a boring answer, I'll take the first one of those. My dad will go to the game, yes. On Sunday. All right, Olakau'atu now. They're playing at a snail's pace here, Manly. Although Olakau'atu does break through here. Brilliant work there from Big Haumole. 2 tackles left here for Manly. If they do get one more, it's game over for sure. Now in the hands of Brooks. Finding, oh, geez, that's a knock on there from Falalo. No, okay. I thought it was knocked forward into a Cowboy and then bounced backwards, but the rule is just backwards. Falalo's had a few moments here. His number on the back of his jersey, I think, is coming off as well. Anyway. Leaguie, do you really think you turned out all right? I do. I'm very happy with how I've turned out. All right, one more to go here. Fogarty now high up in the air. Saab will be underneath this. Gets it, but now back to Garrick. Offload in field. It's between the legs of Jakey Clifford, who does then dive on the ball. There were 5 tries in the first half of the match, but now there is 0. Why is that? Manly have decided to play a more conservative style. Error force there. Error force. Yeah, Manly are defending their way to this victory, and I don't mind that from them. They're just getting through their sets as normal, right? And forcing North Queensland to then come and attack them, which is something North Queensland are not very good at, evidently. They only scored 1 in the first half. So that's why that's happening. Leaguie, when are you going from Canberra to Sydney? Saturday morning. Okay. Ola needs to be in the blue squad. He is absolutely on my bench. I have Liam Martin and Hudson Young in my back row, starting. But then on my bench, I have Haumole Olakau'atu and Jacob Preston as my back rowers. Is 10 tries possible as a total? Possible, but I don't find that likely, no. All right. Simpkin now to find Fogarty into the line. Tiger, I would be tipping the Tigers, so you should be confident from that perspective, but I think it's going to be a brilliant litmus test for you against the Premiers. 6 more here for Manly. All right, Simka just goes himself. Not quite there. It will be my dad, not my date, unfortunately, Lashinsky. Okay, so Simka now in a dummy half finds Luke Brooks. Underneath him is Ben Jawovic. Even in this attacking set, they're playing pretty slowly. Is that a second effort there? No, it's going to be okay. Simkin now for Paseka. Can't get an offload back out, which was the set play there. Excuse me. All right, Simkin is very close to the line there. There was a huge gap. No one chased through. It's going to be a penalty for Manly, though. And Jamal Fogarty is saying, let's take the 2 here. It's going to be the right way to wind down the clock. I will say that. And it gets that to a 3 converted try lead. I like that call. Mrs. League said, would you rather... What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's $10 million donation or me. I'm going to be real. Fundamentally, like just in terms of life in general as well, you shouldn't ask questions that you don't want answers to. And so unfortunately for that one, when you're talking about literally life-changing money, or you, look, yeah. The Broncos are missing everything in their spine below their C4 vertebrae, so you can have confidence as a Tigers fan. I think that's a bit harsh. I think that last week against North Queensland with a heap of outs, they showed quite a bit of spirit. And I said after that game that if a couple of moments had gone slightly differently, we'd be talking about actually quite a famous Broncos win. So, yeah, I think that... My stream has just died here. I think that while they are not the side they were at the back end of last season, they are kind of the side that they were at this point last season. So, yeah. Anyway. Mrs. Leaguie, you as a human are certainly worth more than $300. I'll give you that. $10 million? But anyway, $300, sure, you can have that. Alrighty. Fogarty with a kick. He hits it. He's got it. And it is now an 18-point margin here for the Manly-Warringah Sea Eagles. And you know what? I'll play the theme. I agree with you, Lashinsky. It is a very one-sided game, and I'm surprised. It's yet another upset. North Queensland were favourites coming into this one. I'm surprised at it, especially given Tom Trbojevic being out for the majority of this game. But there's been 2 players for the Sea Eagles who I think have been absolutely exemplary in this one. One I mentioned earlier, Luke Brooks. He's been dictating play. He's definitely been the dominant half in this game over Jamal Fogarty. Fogarty's been getting through his work, no doubt about it. But Brooks has been very, very good in terms of attacking ball. And then the other is Tolu Kola. He was threatening at center earlier. And actually, I kind of thought that when they had to shift it to fullback, I was like, I don't know if that's the move because it's been so effective out there in the centers. I'm inclined maybe to move Hapawate back there instead, but he's gone to fullback and just been solid as anything, and had attacking output as well. It's been very good to see.
Silas Kinski just redeemed change the background color. I'll leave you all with the worst background. Cheers.
The Waz background it is. There we go. Lancaster sounds like a big Yahoo enthusiast there in saying, I wouldn't sell a child for $300, but that's only because I could fetch a better price elsewhere. Sure, let's go with that. Does that play the ball from Jake Jawoy, which was questionable? Anyway, Hetherington will play it on the halfway line. Very, very good run from him. Oh, Cola's knocked on, though. That's tough. That's tough. That's second time, I think, for him in this game. Why is that not a scrum? Anyway. Subway says up the wires. Up the wires. Absolutely up the wires. All of the things we do with our body. Me or $1,000, but I don't watch your stuff. You've probably given me single-handedly about $1,000 in ad revenue over the course of the last 2 years. That's actually not even remotely nearly true. You'd be lucky to have given me $10. But anyway, you matter of massive amounts. However, I am a uni student and I'm poor, so. All right. He got his foot to it, so that's why it's not a scrum. That would make sense. I thought it was just a clean knock-on. All right, Chester now gets an offload out to his winger. Braden Burns will take the tackle there. Oh, what an effort from Tolu Kola. Was that live play? That was live play. Braden Burns was what I can only describe as nonchalant. He thought, I will take the contact, I will fall over the line. And they would have had a huge opportunity here. Look at this, nonchalant. Oh, what an effort for Tolu Kola. That is lazy. That's very, very lazy there from Braden Burns. He was like, try has been scored here. God damn, Tolu Kola. That's a brilliant play from you. Tolu Kola's been outstanding in this game. Holy, that's brilliant. Have you seen a cooler try saver than that? That's a good joke for you. Yeah, that's a great one. Braden was burned on fire, did League, you swear. On fire. No, Ricky, it did not do that, unfortunately. All right. League, should I accept I'm getting drenched? Is it raining where you are? Is that what you mean? I hope that's what you mean. Hetherington now through the middle. He's got space in front of him here. The front row. He's got supported Fogarty. Can't quite find him. Does take a tackle there. In fact, now he gets up. Then he takes a tackle. Still 2 more left here. If Manly go down the other end of the field after what looked a certain Cowboys try and score, that's a dagger in their hearts. Although this game is over anyway. But Simpkin gets it out to Taniela Paseka. Tackle there off the ball. Simpkin and is staying down here. Paseka's going to go very close here. I think he's knocked the ball on over the line. Purdue with the ball in his hands. Will be caught in goal, but it was a knock on there from Paseka. We're going to review this, I think, for the tackle on Jake Simpkin here. That's interesting what's just happened here. Gerard Sutton was not going to review the contact on Jake Simpkin. The Manly players ran over and said, can you check it? And he goes, okay, I'll check it. Yeah. What? Huh? Come again? I can only describe this situation as WTF. It's a try anyway. It's a try for Manly. I'm going to put this on the board. And then we're going to get into what the hell just happened.
Manly-Warringah, Manly-Warringah, they'll all be waltzing behind you.
WTF? What the hell? Like what? What? Did... $125 is insane. Thank you so much. That, like... That, I've said this with big donations. There comes a point where you can't really say something that matches the amount of money that is just being given. That is huge from you. Thank you so much. Look, you really, you are helping to fund what is a rise of independent rugby league media content creation. That will be a positive influence on our game, and I think a positive influence on global sport. And it's people like you who, when it's all available for free, like you could watch this stream, have the exact same experience and not give me a cent. However, when you then donate on top of that, you are the people that make it possible. So thank you so much. That's insane from you. That's insane. I can't believe that I'm saying that, to be honest. That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. Massively appreciated. Wow. He's not even commenting or anything. He's just basking in it. That's unreal from you. I love your contributions always, but that's got to be my favorite. That's got to be my favorite. Wowzers. Okay. League, pouring ice water if the Cowboys lose. Do I accept it's happening now? Yes, sir, you do, because it's about to be 30 points. I actually pressed goal before he actually kicked it there. That's probably not a good move for me. But anyway, answer my question. Oh, sorry. Who is the Tiddlywinks GOAT? Larry Kahn or Patrick Barry? Okay. I've spent quite a bit of time throughout the course of my life debating this. Because on one side, you've got Larry Kahn, right? And there's so many, like, iconic Larrys. We've got the likes of Larry King. We've got the likes of Larry the Cable Guy. And I think everything in between those two. Also, Larry from VeggieTales. Shout out to him. One of the great all-time Larrys. But then, on the other hand, you got Patrick. Who, like... You got good rugby league Patricks as well. Patrick Richards, Patrick Carrigan. But I think what makes him stand out over the top of Larry Kahn is the fact that his surname is Barry. it just opens you up to an entire new world of possibilities. You're talking about the guys like Barry Benson from B Movie and such. You have a lot more open to you. So when you're looking at the history and legacy that those guys are able to channel in their Tiddlywinks operations, I'd have to go with Patrick Barry. He's carrying a lot more weight there, and I think that he weighs that in a much more mature fashion. So that's what we're going with. I hope that was satisfactory, because you certainly spent enough money to warrant it. Let's put it that way. If you got Larry Talks Footy by Fave Larry, that's actually, given that I have done a video with him in the past, that's devastating that I did actually forget Larry Talks Footy. Damn. All right, kick it behind here. Fogarty's got the ball. He's got support inside. Brooks deserves a try in this one, and he's going to get a try in this one. It's all maroon and white. Manly-Warringah, they are absolutely soaring. What the hell? Like, there comes a point where rugby league gets a little bit too topsy-turvy. That's beautiful work from Jamal Fogarty. Yet another upset and yet another massive margin. The Cowboys well off the mark. They've been so good in recent weeks, but well off the mark in this one. I'm very curious to see, actually, who they have next week. Excuse me. This one's over. Cowboys stay in Townsville and host the Cronulla Sharks. Going to be a very interesting game to see if they bounce back at home. Whilst Manly-Warringah will host the Parramatta Eels at Brookie. So I expect Manly go on with it, to be honest. This is what, their third in a row. I expect to get a fourth next week. Drinkwater is playing like a bloke who's named Drink Beers. Drinkwater's playing like a bloke whose name has been in the headlines all week long, and who may have let it get to his head. Do you know what the capital of Morocco is? Marrakesh? Did you like the live action How to Train Your Dragon? Didn't watch it out of protest. I like the original animation too much. Absolutely not what I was expecting this game. I think very few people were expecting it. The poll is now... In fact, it still hasn't. It still hasn't swung back to Sea Eagles. That goes to show. So I have my Who Wins This One poll open on YouTube throughout the entire game. It's got 191 votes now. At the point of kickoff, it had about, I think, 20 votes. And it was in favor of the Cowboys. Manly have dominated this game. People have been coming into the stream while Manly being ahead and voting for Manly. And still the majority of votes are Cowboys. Posted in 36 points to 6 it is. It's a huge loss at this point. Still people think Cowboys... not still people think Cowboys will win. But still enough people thought Cowboys would win. That it's remained the majority vote. So that's amazing. Final question, me or Fabergé eggs? If you want to watch a very good video on Fabergé eggs, by the way, this is me being a politician and not answering the question. Want to watch a great video on Fabergé eggs? Look up Money Explained Fabergé on YouTube. My best mate in the world runs a YouTube channel, and he made a very good video on Fabergé eggs a while ago. So yeah, have a watch of it. WTF has an offshore bank account in Monaco. That's the only possible explanation, because 125 is insane. Insane. Won't be doing that, George, just because I'm not a big AI content enthusiast, personally. Cowboys Sharks is an underrated rivalry, said the League Swear. It is. I've been to a few of their games. The one that, the finals game, week 1, they played a few years ago. Tamalolo, I think, drew a penalty right at the end of the game. I was there at that one at Shark Park. But they've had a lot of good fixtures against one another lately. So, yeah, it's been good. All right, still 11 minutes left to go in this one. Manly are far from finished, I think, in the point-scoring column. They could well hit 40 here. Who are you going for? Cabots or Manly? Or Cowboys or Manly? I was going for Cowboys in this one, to be honest. I don't really care too much between these two sides, but I was probably going for Cowboys. I do not know Juju. Well, I mean, I'm aware of the concept of Juju, but I don't know how to utilize it, let's say. Garrick really didn't contest that one at all. Interesting. How many 95-minute finals games have you been to? Was that a 95-minute one? I remember it was long. Was it Holmes who did the final kick? I mean, that was one of them. I don't know. Wow. Oh, no. Subway says, hey, Leaguie, James Tedesco's been offered a contract by the Storm at $1 million a year for 4 years.
182 just redeemed changed the background color. Like blue and white for the Charlotte Hornets winning the 3 chips in the NBA Finals, G League and Summer League, the big game.
I'm pretty confident that the Charlotte Hornets have not won the 3 chips, but are they not blue and purple? I know the Charlotte Hornets. Are they not blue and purple? Anyway, I will abide. When do NBA finals start? Because this season I really wanted to get into the NBA and I didn't. But I want to around the finals. When do NBA finals start? If they've already started, that's upsetting. June 3rd. Okay. Oh wait, no, that's the finals. When do NBA playoffs start? This weekend. Wow. Okay. Interesting. About a week. Well, I will certainly be watching them if I can. Damn. Is Teddy even a free agent? No, he's not. No, it's complete bollocks, but Subway always does that. Offload from Olakawatu finds the ground. Yeah, it was a bit poor. Are they going to say touch? Yeah, knock on Cowboys. Okay, damn. Ricky says, my first day of employment is on Saturday. What job have you got? That's cool. Who should play Bears at North Sydney next year? Manly. It should always be those two. That's the rivalry. There should only ever be one game a season at North Sydney Oval for the Perth Bears. And it, in my mind, should be against the Manly-Warringah Sea Eagles. Otherwise, I don't mind. Actually, I kind of do mind. I was going to say if you want to play that game at Allianz, but I do mind that. I think there should be North Sydney Oval. All right. Knock on there. Hamale Olakawatu. In a bit of space here is that's Sam McIntyre. Nearly went the length of the field there. It's Big Sammy. Okay, Purgie's in a dummy half. On the zero tackle here. Gets it out now to Laybutt. One-on-one with Jason Saab, but does eventually take a tackle of a sliding defensive line there from the Manly-Warringah side. Purgie at dummy half again. Just very paceless here, the Cowboys. Nonchalant. Going to the other side of the field here. Chester. He's had a good game. Probably been the best Cowboy on the field, I think. Takes a tackle there. Feel like Teddy would move to another club for his last season, DCE style? I absolutely do not think that. Look, I wouldn't have thought it about DCE either. But no. Look, there's a chance Tedesco goes Super League or something. Tedesco's never going to play against the Roosters, though. I don't see that at all. You can clip it. Clip it as much as you want. Ain't happening. Clifford does take the tackle there. One more to go here in this set. Sonny Luke's at a dummy half. Will they get their second try of the game here, the Cowboys? Drinkwater has it. Now for Dearden. Will he put it boot to ball? He won't. Just goes short. And they die with the ball. That is so utterly underwhelming. That's just like you are that far behind. Why don't you try something extravagant, right? Because if it goes wrong, you know what? Nobody cares. You've lost the game. It doesn't matter. You're not going to look like any more of an ass than you already are, respectfully. But if you just die with the ball with the short balls here, back rower, ugh, that is so dull. Give us something. This game's been so scrappy and annoying to watch. Yeah, it has. It really has. What's going to be your next banger video? It's not going to be coming until next week, I think, because I've got lots of uni stuff at the moment. However, there's two videos I'm currently working on. One is every NRL fan base roasted. That will be my next one. But then I've got a bigger project that I'm working on after that, which is another reason why it's sort of taking long, you know. Similar vibe to the Change Room Cameras video. Similar vibe to the Ukrainian Rugby League video. Much more in depth than the illegal streaming video as well. But that kind of thing, it's going to be, I think, might be one of the longest videos I've made. There's a lot to talk about on this topic, so I'm going to be going into that. But I'm not going to really talk about it until then. Wild offload there from the Cowboys. Saab was nearly on that, but anyway, Laybutt now. Sideline beckoning, stays in the field of play. You are Ming vases? How much are Ming vases worth? I feel that probably a lot. Pretty sure Teddy has played against the Chooks. Yeah, no, but I mean, from now on, he's not going to be playing against the Chooks. What happened to Cowboys? Bloody good question, mate. Bloody good question. Dearden into the line. He had a back row outside him there in Hylam Lukey. That's not exactly who you'd want out there, but anyway, it's what it is. All right, now in the hands of Jackson Purdue. Gets an offload away. That's nice for Jason Tamalolo. Now at the back to find Jake Clifford. Short ball. Again, no intent there. They got offloads away, which was good, but no structure out wide. No intent there. All right, Garrick is bleeding here. Luke now finding Scotty Drinkwater. Gets another offload away. No structure here. Ball finds the ground. This is some of the worst attack I've ever seen. Dearden puts a kick in himself. It's been chased by Chester. Chester nearly got there, you know. That was awful attack. It was really, really poor attack. That's just, wow. Okay, anyway. I don't know, Mr. Slicky. I don't know what you want from me sometimes. Respectfully, I'm not sure. Midway through last year, you said you do a video on concussions. Did you stop that project or not? It's a good point. I did kind of stop that project. I moved on to other things. All the work that I did is still there. I'm sure I will return to it at some point. However, and this is, it sucks to say, right? And I don't know really a good way to word this. However, with a topic like concussions, often you need it to be in the discourse for it to be effective in reaching its audience. I think at any given time, making a video on concussions might not necessarily hit home. But if, say, we had a medical retirement, the last thing I'm doing is hoping that that happens. However, I'm aware of the reality that it almost certainly will happen at some point. If we have something like that, that's when that will be more of a topic of conversation, and when the message that I have around concussions and our attitudes towards them can definitely be more effective and resonate more. So yeah. Chester's been in Leahy's pocket all night. I don't think that's completely true. He's had some very good moments, Tommy Chester. We Panthers are the most loyal and wholesome NRL fan base, Leaguie. Please show mercy. That is not true. I mean, I know personally, Brent, that you are a Penrith Panthers fan. However, loyal and wholesome? I don't know. Who gets to claim fairy bread, Australia or the Netherlands? Did the Netherlands even try and claim that? I lived there for 12 years. I don't think I saw fairy bread once. Oh, wait, no. Of course. Well, they don't do it like, they don't do it with hundreds of thousands. Did they have, it's called hagelslag, which is like little, it is sprinkles on bread, to be fair. But it's not hundreds and thousands. But I would side with the Dutch on that. Penalty Manly here. High contact. On a scale of James Charles to Andrew Tate, how straight are you? I'm trying to think of. I don't know the sexualities of people enough. Andrew Tate is unhealthy levels of straight, but I am very, very far from James Charles. I am a straight male, believe it or not. Okay. Do you think Trbojevic will have to be medically retired? No, I don't think so. That's not the kind of thing you can really predict, or nor should you really predict it. So, yeah. Who do you think will be the next big signing? It's a very good question, actually. It's so hard to say. I mean, we always talk about Kalen Ponga being on the market, but with what Newcastle are building at the moment, I'm not sure he'll want to leave. I'd have to look at who's actually off contract. I would be in the Macca's drive-through heading home if I was Peyton right now. Well, unfortunately, it's got obligations. But, yeah, it's a tough one, certainly, for them. You want to know something weird about the score bug on Fox right now? I only just noticed this, and it upsets me. Okay, so look at the North Queensland, box with NQL in it. It's got darker blue on one side than on the other. It's a gradient, as Manly kicked their goal. It's a gradient. However, the Manly one is not a gradient. That is a solid color, which inherently always looks cheaper. You want to have shadows in designs. Shadows, changes of shade, all that stuff. One of the main things that I learned over the last few years making graphics is that is the case. Manly are in the top 4. What the actual hell? Manly are in the top 4. That's outrageous, by the way. That's insane for where they were only a little while ago. But anyway, yeah, that upsets me. That upsets me. Leaguie, when's Uncle Nick going to let us spend? We haven't spent anything in recent years. We had 2 of the most high-profile recruits coming into this season in the Blues hooker and one of the most legendary halfbacks in the modern era. So, you know. Thoughts on me getting my tip right and still being 34 points off in my margin? I'm impressed. You got closer than I did, for sure. You should make a Wayne Bennett video. I don't rate Wayne in the same way that a lot of people do. I think that we have this big unspoken thing where you can't say that Wayne Bennett isn't like one of the most legendary coaches of all time. However, he has won one premiership in the last 20 years. And has had some good sides. Granted, you know, there's moments like that 2021 grand final where a couple of slight things go differently, and that argument doesn't hold as much weight. However, I look at, you know, the success of a guy like Bellamy or Cleary or even Robinson in recent years. I can't wear the fact that Bennett was the one, like this great coach, especially when he had success with a Broncos side who were pretty much the Queensland team. So yeah, anyway, is what it is. When are the Chooks going to release Watson early? They're not going to release Watson early. Anyway, what a day. What a day. Thursday night footy. Look, it was, as far as Thursday night clashes go, this was one of the poos thingers we've seen. Errors absolutely galore. But Manly go up to North Queensland and get the job done absolutely comprehensively. They're a top 4 team this season. I predicted them top 4 last season, right? They were nowhere near. I predicted them spoon this season, and they're currently sitting in the top 4. This game, you know what? This game is fundamentally stupid. This game is fundamentally stupid. It's absolutely fundamentally stupid. Oh, sorry, they just cut to the Matty John show and Yakub is in the front row. That's very cool. Yeah, wow. What a game. What a sport we have to follow. In 2026, it is, as much as people will say, oh, the game's broken, the game's ruined, the NRL, you're ruining it. There's a few creators who were hitting that message last week, and I didn't really speak out against them, but I find it odd. But anyway, it's entertaining. You cannot deny that. Manly on top. They're doing very, very well. Which team's going to win the match tomorrow night? Well, between Canberra and Melbourne, I would tip Melbourne. However, I'm not very good at tipping. I wouldn't really follow me in on that. And I do hope that the Canberra Raiders can win. Being here in Canberra, I will be at that game. If any of you are going, feel free to come say hi. I'll be in the general admission area, probably near the donut ball end of the field. For Dolphins and Panthers, look, Dolphins have been underwhelming to say the least so far this season, in my opinion. I had very high hopes for them. I don't think they're playing to the level that their roster would necessarily allow. Penrith, though, are going to be on an absolute revenge tour after losing disappointingly to the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs last time out. I think I really wouldn't want to be the side that are playing against them this week. Dolphins could be in for an absolute shellacking here. So that's my call for the next 2 games there. League, do you think Chester and Purdue are undersized centers in the modern game? They are both undersized centers, no doubt about it. In the modern game, you want a hard running center. Stags, Kohler, Toya, that kind of mold. That's what we're building. Big Fish, thank you for following over on Twitch. However, they get the job done, both of them. They weren't the reason why the Cowboys lost tonight. I think I said Chester was probably the best Cowboy on field, in my opinion, and I think that Purdue as well is definitely a talent. He will, I believe, end up at fullback, although I got crucified for saying that a little while ago. I kind of see his future there, maybe shifting into 5'8", to replace Jake Clifford at some point, but Clifford is preferred up there, and I think has done enough to earn that position. So, yeah. Any particular comments? The score was 38 points to 6. Who did Broncos need to sign to win the premiership? You can win the premiership with the side you currently have. You just haven't found the form that you had at the back end of last season, but nor really is this the time of year for you to be finding that form. So I wouldn't be too worried as a Broncos fan. Yeah, Subway, I am. That is a quote. That's a quote from me. All right. I will leave it there then. Just so you guys know, unfortunately, this will be my only stream for the week. It's very sad. I know. I'm devastated as well. I do enjoy the streaming, but it's very rare that all these things line up at once, and I do have quite a lot to do this weekend. 2 games I'm going to. Raiders Storm, Roosters Knights, and then Saturday I'm occupied. But we'll be back next week for, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's games. So look out for that. Until then, I will leave you with the winning theme song of Manly-Warringah. And I'll see you all later. Goodbye.